So if they'll give you one chance to change Africa, how do you?
It's attitude. I think it's the way we think about certain things. If we're able to change our attitude, I think we are great people. And Africa, we've got a lot of resources. I think it's the attitude we have towards the things that we have that would make the difference to our future. Let's not destroy the environment. Let's keep the environment natural. I ask my people not to apply any chemicals on the farm because I want to keep things natural.
Please, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Papa Trade, CEO of the Cassava Farms.
Okay, so right now we're on the pig. So how many pigs do you start with?
With the pigs, I started with 5. Um, that was in 2019. That was my initial stock, but then we've sold quite a lot since that time. No, I think it was 2020 roughly. Yeah, 2020. Um, 2019, I started with a guy as a form of partnership who was doing it, and I bought some from him. So I transferred that stock here to start once I got the land.
Okay. So starting, do you have idea of pig before?
I didn't have a lot. So what I did was to learn. And so there are a lot of training that I self-tutored on the net. I read a lot about their feed preparation, about feeding. I read a lot about their vaccines. I learned a lot about the structure and what you need to put in place. So I did a lot of learning, self-tutored on the net. Then watch a lot of videos and learned about people's experiences. I went to 3 farms just to look at their practices, learn from what they are doing, and adapt some of the things that I learned from them, and also to inspire my workers to do the same.
Okay.
I've also sent some of the workers on training programs so they understand what we are trying to achieve here.
So starting, what breed do you start with?
So we had large whites to start with, but over time, I think we've changed a stock quite a lot with some other breeds. The breed that we haven't got yet is the Duroc, but there is a reason behind that. I think we wanted to change that stock, but we felt that maybe we deal with what we have for now till next year.
Okay, so if somebody was watching us want to start pickling. So when the person went to the farm, what the question that the person to need to ask the farmer before he can buy the animal from the farmer?
So I would say that you need to check their records. So for us, we had an identification system for the pigs.
Okay.
And we keep records on each of the pigs, so we know the parents, we know the treatments that we've provided to that, we know the kind of challenges that we've had. So there is a history. And that is very important when you are buying. Ask a lot of questions about the mother, ask a question about, is the mother a good mother? Because you buy a pig who would give, let's say, birth to about 16, and at the end maybe would end up killing all of them. So for such would not be a good mother. And so I would not like to sell the offspring of that pig to anyone who is going to breed them. I'd rather look for a very good breed. So ask for a very good breed. And there are characteristics of a very good breed. And maybe that can be a topic that we treat on its own for pig selection. But you need to ask quite important questions, get their history, know their traits, are they good mothers, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll be able to then do your selection.
Okay, please. So can you take us to the breed that we have in pig that is good for somebody to start with?
I think every breed is good. It depends on what you want to get out of it. Are you breeding because you want to get meat, good quality meat? Are you breeding because you want to get large stock? You want to get a very big pig to sell for money, for meat? Are you breeding because you want to multiply quickly? And these are questions that you need to be asking yourself. And that will depend on what breed that you buy. Largely, the large whites being considered to be a very good breed because of their size and the rate of growth. People want to go in for them. The Duroc, it's good for meat because they are quite big, yeah, in stature. So depending on what you want, you can select the good breed. I don't think that there is a bad breed, but even with the type of pig you buy, you will need to have a very good one within that type that you buy, and that's very important. Yeah.
Okay. So right now we bring we buy the pig. So like what house that is good for the pig? House. What house that is good for the pig?
So you need to have a good size. So what we have here can take up to six,
Okay.
up to six pigs. But it depends. If you go further down, we did a deep litter system, which can take up to 20, and that is bigger. So it depends on what you want. I think this is a good size for anyone starting. And so if you have, let's say, two of this, you can start. The reason I wouldn't advise on just one is that as soon as you have piglets, you need to separate them so the mother can start again. So if you are building a structure, at least aim at having like two or three. So you can then expand as time goes on. Okay. And don't think so much about spending a lot of money on the structure. If possible, do it yourself. If you can't, get someone to do it for you. Yeah.
Okay, so like I need to ask this question before back to the house. The person needs to buy the pregnant one or the small one. What?
So buying piglets, I think, may not be a good idea because then that will take longer. So, and if you are buying, I think the pig should be at least 6 months. At least 6 months. If it is 6 months, at least you know that you can cross them from that point. If you buy these ones who are like 2 months old, it may take you a long time and it can be quite frustrating. So I would advise you to get a pig that is about 6 months old to start with. My advice to new starters is that if they can, if it is my farm, I know you are going to start a farm, I would gladly cross them for you. Then you don't have to think about going to start it with an extra because you don't have to buy the boa from the same farm. So if you are buying the mothers from here, I would advise you get the boa from elsewhere to cross it.
So you say you make the person you call the person. So if the person buy two parents pig. So when you go like they give birth before they can bring.
Yeah. So at least you know that you are getting something out of it. And if you want to invest in a meal, you can then sell some of your piglets and buy, or you can then bring them back for crossing, which can be easier if you are closer. You can then bring them back for crossing. Yeah, and I can gladly support you with that because we want a lot of young people to go into farming.
Okay. So what about the water system?
So we use the nipple system. As you can see, that's the system they have. So look, so
I see. Yeah.
they just go there and then have, yeah, we've got the tanks, we pump into the tanks, and then water is readily available for them whenever they need it. And it's better than where you have the dark system where people go and drink it. They mess up the pen.
Okay. So right now you have the water, you have the house. So the pig that it costs, it will take how long before it can give birth?
So usually it's 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. Yeah.
Okay. So giving birth, do you need to be there, or they can?
I must say, when we had our first pig, we were here. We had to see to it that because that was new, and people were saying you need to give them alcohol so they don't lie on. Though all those things don't work, they don't work. So yes, if possible, be around so to make sure it is safe for them. But we've had very good mothers, so we haven't had any mortalities with with their deliveries. Yeah.
Okay. So after they give birth, do you give them medication?
Yeah. So usually within the first week, we give them iron. We repeat it, and then we give them some vitamins as well.
What is that you give the iron to them?
So the iron is within the first week.
Okay.
So we give within the first week, and it is repeated in the second week with the vitamins to all of them.
Okay. So you start feeding them, or the mother can take care of them?
So initially, the mother would feed them. Then they will start picking from the mother. And so what we try to do is just to make it easier for them because their stomach hasn't developed fully. So usually we wet it, mix it with milk so that it's easier for them to consume. So it might be the same feed, but sometimes the mother will go in there and make good use of it. But yeah, that's what we try to
Okay.
do.
So how long that you take from mother? How long it take before you can wean them?
So usually we are looking at 8 weeks.
Okay.
We are looking at 8 weeks. Sometimes we've done 6 weeks, depending on the mother and then the piglets, how well they are doing. We've done 6 weeks before, but it's usually around 8 weeks. Yeah.
Okay. So the 8 weeks is 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
Okay. So do you group them? Do you separate the female and male, or you group them?
Initially, within the first 4 weeks, like you can see, within the first 4 weeks after separating them from the mother, they are all mixed. Then when they are about 3 months upwards, we separate them.
3 months after?
Yeah. Sometimes at 3 months, or yeah, we separate the males from the females, and then that will be it. That is the point also that we select who might be a very good breed for other farmers. And so we look at their characteristics. We call it the breed selection. Yeah.
Okay. So how do you able to identify female and male?
Oh, it's obvious from their male. It's very obvious, as you can see.
Okay.
Yeah, it's easily identifiable. Yeah.
I thought maybe rabbit you have some point to be.
Yeah. No, this is easy to identify just by looking at their physical looks. And
Okay. So like after you win them, when do you apply to give them the women? When do you win them?
oh, the women can start as early as 1 month.
Okay.
Yeah, the women can start as early as 1 month um, because of the environment and all that, how they eat and all that. We try to deworm them like on a monthly basis.
So what mean of inbreeding?
Inbreeding is a situation where a male on the farm, a male born on the farm from the same mother and father, is used to cross another female. So let's say this mother, this father have given birth to this and this, and you allow both of them to cross. That would be inbreeding. The challenge with inbreeding is the fact that if there is any trait, any illness, or from any of the parents, it means that they are crossing it over easily. Whereas if you cross with another male from another farm who is not related in any way to them, then it means that it lessens the effects on them. I haven't had an inbreeding on my farm, but people who have had it have said that they may have, let's say, a litter of about 10, only 2 will survive. So, and you don't want to have that experience.
Okay,
Because
so
that is money thrown away.
So how can you to avoid inbreeding?
So to avoid inbreeding, it means that just at the early stage, when they are about 4 months, they know what they need to do. Just like human beings, they know that the male can cross a female. So that's the point that you separate them from each other. You only give the female to a male when you feel they are ready. So you look for the signs that they are on heat, and when they are on heat, you send the female to the male for them to cross. So you don't keep them in the same pen.
Okay, so how do we identify that this one's on it?
Oh, there are a lot of things that you can see. So you see, it becomes reddish.
Yeah.
If you have the male nest dog, you see that they are eager to go to where the male is. They become quite hyper. And it becomes moisturized as well. Now you see it's dry. It becomes reddish and moisturized. Then you know that they are on heat. Yeah.
Okay, how many times they come on it?
I think every 3 weeks. They will come on heat every 3 weeks. So the farmer needs to be aware. And so you put the dates down. If you don't want to cross, you know that in 3 weeks they will be ready. And if you feel that is the right time to cross, then you give it to you.
Okay. Like you're into, like you are saying about record keeping. So what mean of record keeping?
So record keeping is a way of recording information about a specific animal. So when they were born, when they've had their vaccinations, when they've become ill, when they've come on heat, when you've done any major changes in their life, it needs to be recorded. So you know what you are doing with that particular pig there.
Okay. So if you do record, you don't do that inbreeding stuff.
Yeah, it helps you. So you know that this and this are from the same mother. You will not have to cross them.
Okay. Okay, so like it's profitable.
Yes, it is profitable. As you can see, these are from two mothers. So if we keep our systems right and we're able to keep, I think they're about 26 in all, which is an average of about 13 per mother.
Okay.
So this is money. Yeah, this is money. So it's about your own practices. And like I said, if you're able to cut down the waste, cut down things that would mean that we have to spend money to treat them, then it means that the rest will be our profits.
Okay, how do you cut down the cost?
So feed is constant. Our feed is constant. You need to feed them. If they even miss their feed for a day, it would have impact on their well-being. So feed is constant. You cannot cut feed. So there's no corner cutting from that. What you can do is about biosecurity, making sure that you are not transferring any disease from outside to the farm. If you do, it would mean that you need to spend money to treat them. So if you prevent it, then you would have saved money.
Okay.
Yeah. If they die, for instance, you have lost what would have been your potential earning.
Okay.
So you would have prevented all of that. So that's really important. It's quite logical that you make sure that you are making savings on that so that you can get whatever you can get from them when you sell.
Please, can you take out to your daily routine?
So probably it will be the farmers on the field. In the morning, when they come in, they make sure that everyone is fine. They just go around, have a quick look at each animal, observe for changes, and then report the changes. Then they will clean. Water is available 24/7. Once they clean, they feed them, and they go. So they've done their morning. They will come back probably at midday, clean, and also feed them again. And then they feed them the last thing before, I think around about 3, 4 will be the last time they feed them. And then that would be such, that's kind of the routine. If there is a new mother, that mother gets more attention because you want to see that the piglets are doing well, they are okay, and all of that. Yeah. Then we have a vet that comes in. Our aim is that the farmers themselves will be able to administer all these, but it's just the extra protection. So I've recruited a vet that comes in twice a week, and then anytime there is a problem, they call and the vet comes. So that's the other thing that happens on the farm.
So annually, how much do you able to get in annually?
So I wouldn't go into so much what I earn from them, but I'll give you a scenario. So for a young person who's going to start, let's say you start with 2, and you've got a very good mother like this one, you are looking of an average of 20 piglets in a year.
Okay.
As a minimum, 20. So this one gives 13, 14. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a year, you are going to have 10 times 2 on an average.
Okay.
That would be 20 piglets,
Okay.
right? A kg is around 30. 30 Ghana cedis per kg. Give and take depending on who the buyer is. So let's say an average of 25 per kg, right?
Okay.
That means that you've got 60 kg times 20. So do the maths. It is profitable. But you need to think about your feeding costs and other operational costs as well. So it is profitable. So for a young person, you are not going to employ anyone on the farm. You'll be doing it yourself. You can still have a job and operate with 2 or 3 pigs on your farm. Feed them in the morning, go to work, come back, feed them again. Make sure that there is a system that they can drink. Of course, water is very important for them, and then you'll be fine. So it is profitable. That's what I can say. I can't tell you how much I earn from it, but then if you do the maths with the numbers, it is profitable.
Okay. In a year, how long? How many times they give there?
Twice.
Yes, okay.
So that's what we aim for.
So three, okay.
Yeah, we aim for twice a year.
So, advice for somebody who wants to start living abroad.
Yeah, like I said in the previous video, my advice would be that you can't go into any venture without having a good knowledge of what you are going to do. So interest alone is not enough. You need to learn. And there is a lot of material available. Do your research, learn, and then make sure you've got trusted people who you can leave your investments with. Think if it is an investment, then you don't have to leave it in the hands of people who squander your money, because otherwise you come back heartbroken. So make sure that you've got people who would be able to live your vision. And that's what I can say to anyone abroad. So it's not just about having the money and thinking what to do. What you can also do is go into partnership with somebody who is already doing it, and then say that I want to invest in your business. How do we go about it? And the person probably might say, okay, we can put up 6 structures here. This is how much it costs. This will be the running cost per month. And we can look after it for you. And then we can know the returns on the investment and then share according to what we have put in. And that can also be a good thing. Make sure you have an agreement. Don't just do it verbally. There should be an agreement.
Paperwork.
Yes, and then there should be a way to monitor. So one of the things that I'm investing in, I've got the cameras, I haven't installed them yet, is to install CCTV cameras.
I was about to ask you, like,
Yeah,
I think we are saying camera.
Yeah. So
being abroad,
I've got them, but it's not installed yet. Yeah.
Okay, so the advice for the youth, Ghana youth.
I think
Ghana youth, make it such a way like African youth.
okay. So my advice for the youth is that don't look down upon agriculture, because I think there's been a perception out there in terms of, maybe it's not so much now, but when I was growing up, when you do something wrong in school, you are asked to go and weed. So the perception out there was that to do farming is a punishment. Or I don't think that anyone in my class ever said that I want to grow up to become a farmer, because it was something that was looked down upon. But I'm into farming, and I think that there is so much in farming that the youth can go into. It doesn't matter if you want to keep a second job, but make farming your priority. One, we are together producing food for the population, and that we want people to live well and do well. Two, it is going to be a source of income for you. So it's going to provide for you and your family. So it's good, and it provides you a job. It makes you earn at the end of the day. So please, go into farming. If you want to talk about farming, please come to us and we'll support you, provide you with advice.
So, starting farm at least for 5 years, you have more experience. What do you see in pig farming? Mistake that Ghanaians are doing in pig farm in Ghana?
Because I haven't gone to other people's farm,
Okay.
but with me is leaving the investment in the hands of others. It's one big mistake because they will not be able to do it the way you want it. Two is that there is a perception out there they are only animals. And so they don't see them as investment. So when it's time for them to come and clean, they probably may not. When time to feed them, and it's got to be time, they need to get used to a pattern. And so if you don't get people who will do it at the right time for you, then that's a problem. Because that means that your investment is going to suffer. But my advice to people who want to go into farming, there are a lot of challenges, but there is a way around it. And I think training is key, and getting the right people is also very important.
So if they'll give you one chance to change Africa, how do you?
It's attitude. I think it's the way we think about certain things. If we're able to change our attitude, I think we are great people. And Africa, we've got a lot of resources. I think it's the attitude we have towards the things that we have that would make the difference to our future. Let's not destroy the environment. Let's keep the environment natural. I ask my people not to apply any chemicals on the farm because I want to keep things natural. Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Like the video, share, and subscribe. Please, I want to know where you are watching us from. Okay.